From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Millicent Walker.
Hello and welcome. Death toll from coronavirus in Italy rises from 133 to 366 in just one day as Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu briefs President Muhammadu Buhari on how the state is curtailing import of the virus. Police arrest 9 suspected ritualists over death of mother of 2 in Ogun State. Nigerian women join others the world over on the call for gender equality on International Women's Day. And U.S. Senator and former Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris endorses Joe Biden for president. Plus, we have some sports stories. Concerns are growing, the situation is getting intense, and all hands are on deck to find a lasting solution to the novel coronavirus that has taken many countries of the world by storm. Today, no fewer than 133 persons have died just in one day from the virus in Italy, raising the total number of those killed by the disease in the country to 366. The jump in figures comes as millions of people adapt to new measures announced by the Italian government on movement and travel in order to curb the spread of the virus. There's more in this next report.
The total number of infections in Italy at the last count stand at 7,375 from 5,883, according to the country's protection agency. News of the new figures come just hours after the government announced it was putting as many as 16 million people on compulsory quarantine north of the country, including Milan and Venice, in a move to curb spread of infection. The announcement caused many to panic and head for the shops, leaving train stations and the airport almost empty.
Buongiorno.
The situation has become so dire, even the Pope had to deliver his regular Sunday address via video link instead of on the balcony to the crowd gathered underneath. Following the televised speech, the pontiff made a brief appearance at the window to bless the small crowd that had gathered. The report from the WHO also showed the number of confirmed cases worldwide has risen by 3,735 to 101,927 outside of China. 78 more people died of COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths to 413. Other countries are also adopting measures to curb spread of the virus. All schools remain closed in the UAE for 1 month. Guatemala is imposing travel restrictions to try to keep out the coronavirus, including barring travelers who have recently visited affected countries. The ban applies also to those who have been to countries such as Korea, Italy, or China in the last 15 days. China has confirmed 44 new cases on the mainland, as 10 people died following collapse of a building that was used as a quarantine facility in Guangzhou. And yet, new cases have sprung in Cambodia and Paraguay, while the U.S. confirms a death toll of 19 in New York State, causing the governor to declare a state of emergency.
Well, back in Nigeria, the situation in Italy and other parts of the world where coronavirus is claiming lives is a cause of concern for President Muhammadu Buhari, and he has sent a condolence message to their leaders. The president wrote letters to President Hassan Rouhani of Iran, Moon Jae-in of South Korea, and Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte of Italy. He says his government will continue to diligently carry out its duties to the international community by ensuring that the spread of the disease is curtailed. He also encouraged Nigerians to continue to show support to citizens of all the countries who are resident in Nigeria, noting that there is no cause for panic. Italy, South Korea and Iran remain Nigeria's allies in good and bad times. President Buhari says it will only be a matter of time before the world sees an end to this disease. And Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, today met with the president to give him an update on the state's efforts at keeping COVID-19 at bay. At the end of the closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, Governor Sanwo-Olu told State House correspondents that Lagos is not letting down its guard on monitoring and averting any attempt to import the virus into the country. He, however, wants everyone to maintain personal and environmental hygiene.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Some of the level of higher level preparedness that we've put in place, and just to continue to assure him that the state will continue to do the very best to ensure that the state is ready, and I'm sure that this will be over us very, very soon, and to thank him for the support. Up until last night, all of the cases in terms of tests that we've conducted have been negative. They're still running some tests as we speak, right, on some other cases. So we'll see how it goes. But the bottom line is that we certainly should not allow anything to drop off. Our monitoring. That's really what we should ensure.
Let's move on to other stories now. Rights group, the Socio-Economic and Accountability Project, SERAP, says it received a letter from the federal government today requesting for the full list of former governors and ministers that have received or are receiving double pay and life pensions. According to SERAP, the request follows last year's judgment by Justice Oluremi Oguntoyibo ordering the government to challenge the legality of states' pension laws and recover public funds collected by former governors and ministers. SERAP further explains that the request will enhance and ensure compliance with the court's judgment, as it hopes that the judgment will be implemented promptly for the sake of integrity, accountability, and proper management of public resources by state governors. Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom is advocating thorough analysis of the issues surrounding the country's challenges instead of rushing into action under unnecessary pressure. Justice George Oguntade told Channels Television's Ladia Akeredoluale on our current affairs program Newsnight in London that President Buhari's administration is following a time-tested strategy of thoroughly examining all indices in taking decisions on national development.
I know that Nigeria is in various difficulties. I can see that the Nigerians at various levels are trying to amend to enable us to do better, but I'll be happier if we do more.
In what specific areas?
Broad areas across the country. Nigerians don't take time to reflect and see that they do things only after the matters involved have been well thought out. We tend to do things wrongly and start to correct later. We should straighten the country. The president I serve is, in my judgment, excellent, because those who think otherwise don't know him. But I know him. I know he's an excellent man, straightforward, and a true president for Nigeria. People don't know, but we know that he's serving the country. Humble, modest, and a leader for a country. I hope it will endure.
For the full interview with Justice Oguntade, do watch Newsnight tomorrow, Monday, March 9th at 9 p.m. only on Channels Television. Now, it's International Women's Day, and the Women Wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria is reminding the federal government of its promise to see to the release of Leah Sharibu, the only Dapchi schoolgirl still in Boko Haram captivity. They also call for an end to violence against women and girls. Our correspondent Linda Akiwe reports.
These are women from the Christian Association of Nigeria. They are about to proceed on a march around the FCT metropolis to commemorate the 2020 International Women's Day. To these women, the 2020 International Women's Day is bittersweet. Although they are celebrating the achievements of women, they are also mindful of the country's poor security climate, which undermines the safety of women.
Women want peace to reign. We don't want a situation where there are crises, because by the time that there are crises, the women suffers a lot, and the children.
We are agitating for Leah Sharif to be released because she's one of us. First of all, she's a girl. Secondly, we heard that she has given birth. She's a woman. And this is the time for women equality and liberation. She should be liberated from wherever dungeon she's kept.
What we are saying that every girl deserves to be educated. Every woman should be given a voice, should be inclusive, and we want Nigeria to give more position to women.
They begin their march singing songs demanding for equality and an end to violence against women. This is another event celebrating International Women's Day in the capital city. The Nawaruddin Society of Nigeria is holding a lecture on parenting in the 21st century. The guest speaker shares her thoughts on the plight of women, just as the national chairperson of the society speaks on the essence of the lecture.
The plight of women in Nigeria is, getting better by the day. I want to say that. Alhamdulillah, that women are beginning to be more conscious of what is expected of them, and they are more conscious of their rights, they are more conscious of their responsibilities.
We are joining other women in the world to mark the International Women's Day, and for us, we are treating the issue of women as a mother. And that's why we decided to, and looking at the challenges that women face today and the mothers face today, especially in this 21st century.
The International Women's Day is a global celebration of the achievements of women in different spheres of life, but it also underscores that the race is still on for achieving gender equality. Linda Kibe, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, we'll continue with stories on the demand for equality and promotion of gender balance as the world marks International Women's Day. And we'll be joined by Mrs. Amina Oyagbola, the founder of Women in Successful Careers, WISCA. Do join us again.